What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe, and I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It is free. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up on today's video. We're aiming for 400 likes. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Honeywell Smart Lighting. Remember, you can go and check out the floor lamp F01. Links and details, they are in the description. If you guys want to get into content creation, you want to up your game in terms of your lighting level, then the floor lamp F01 from Honeywell Smart Lighting is the lamp for you. Do go and check it out. Links and details there in the description, and a big thank you to Honeywell Smart Lighting for sponsoring today's video. So we've got no contract news, so we're going to dive straight on in with the outs. We've got the very latest on Maximo Perrone, and Fabrizio Romano has said Como still don't have a permanent deal in place to sign Maximo Perrone from Manchester City. They do have the right to loan him again for the upcoming season, which the plan is that's what's going to happen, but they do have an option to match a bid that would be accepted by Manchester City, but the problem is Man City haven't accepted any bids for Maximo Perrone when it comes to a permanent transfer, even from Como. Now, the stance could change, but it is looking like Maximo Perrone will be working towards a loan deal once more for another 12 months with Como in Italy, rather than looking for a permanent transfer. If that stance does change, of course, I will keep you guys up to date with my daily City transfer updates. Now, moving on to the final story in the outs, we've got the very latest on Juma Bah, and Sports Witness has said that Leeds United in the Premier League, along with Southampton in the Championship, are both keen on taking Juma Bah from Manchester City this summer on loan. Now, Premier League experience would be absolutely brilliant for Juma Bah. The question is, how many minutes would he be able to get at Leeds United? I do think that Juma Bah would be a step up in terms of improving their levels in defence, so I'd be pretty confident that he would be getting plenty of minutes at Leeds United. My only reservation that I have in terms of loaning players to other Premier League teams is they don't tend to be utilised. Premier League teams, when they bring players in, like these players to belong to them. Now, if Juma Bah was a Leeds United player on a permanent basis, they would use him every single game and every single minute in the Premier League 38 games, but because he's not their player and it'd be a loan deal, they would see it as it'd be a useful player for them to have, but they're not exactly wanting to be able to play him every single game and every single minute and developing him so he's ready for Manchester City rather than being ready for them. And that's the complications you have when it comes to other Premier League teams. But if he is a step up, then they may choose to want to do so. Man City may favour a loan to Southampton because they're probably going to be more keen on using Juma Bah to help them achieve their aim of being promoted back to the Premier League. And of course, RC Lens former manager Will Still, who Juma Bah spent the second half of the season on loan with RC Lens with Will Still, he's in charge at Southampton, so that may just give them an edge. But I imagine City will want Juma Bah to be playing in the most competitive league possible, where he's going to get the most regular first team minutes. Now, Paris FC over in Ligue 1 in France are also interested, along with FC Koln over in the Bundesliga in Germany. They're also keen on a loan, so there'll be plenty of options. RC Lens are keen on Juma Bah as well, so we will see where he does end up, but it was almost certain that he will leave City and it will be on loan. But Juma Bah has already made it crystal clear that he wants to be a Manchester City player and playing for them ASAP. Moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Sverre Nypan Man, the 18-year-old Norwegian central midfielder from Rosenborg in Norway. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said that a £12.5 million deal has been agreed between the two clubs, and Sverre Nypan is expected to be in Manchester tomorrow to complete his medical and sign his Manchester City contract. David Ornstein has confirmed that it will be a 5-year contract until June 2030, and the plan is that Sverre Nypan will sign his Manchester City contract and then he will be loaned out for the 2025-2026 season. It's still to be decided where that will be, Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed that it won't be to Girona. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on Diogo Costa, the 25-year-old Portuguese goalkeeper from FC Porto. Now, City Xtra have been reporting that their understanding is Ederson wants to stay at Manchester City, but he is also happy to leave should a big offer coming from Saudi Arabia. Manchester City are only interested in selling Ederson this summer if they're to get a big fee as well. Manchester City are believed to be wanting Diogo Costa as Ederson's replacement if he does leave this summer, and as Ederson is 31 years old and has just 12 months left on his Manchester City contract, that there is a stance here where obviously Ederson may not sign a new contract at City, he may not leave this summer, and he'd leave for free next summer instead, and he's free to go wherever he chooses rather than being involved with a transfer fee. And it is reported that Diogo Costa, if that is the case, is happy to wait another 12 months and stay at FC Porto so he can get his move to Manchester City. So this could give Man City another 12 months to sort out the futures of both Ederson and Stefan Ortega Moreno. Stefan Ortega is out of contract next summer as well, just like Ederson is. So realistically, if both goalkeepers are keen on seeing their contracts out, rather than losing both goalkeepers in one window like we would next summer if neither sign a new contract, we could do with really getting some clarity on this. And if neither keeper's going to be signing a new contract, we could do with letting one of the goalkeepers go. And I'd probably take a step towards Ederson's more likely to leave than Stefan Ortega due to how much demand there is for Ederson, and plus Ederson's also declared an interest in potentially leaving Manchester City as well. But it is reported that Ederson wants his future to be sorted out and to be clear once the Club World Cup has come to an end. I'm not too sure why, but I can see Ederson at some point in this window potentially leaving Manchester City, and if that is to happen, then I imagine it would be coming some point in the end of July into August, so in the latter parts of the window. But Manchester City's interest definitely there. When it comes to Diogo Costa, City do need to sort out the futures though of both goalkeepers Ederson and Stefan Ortega. Al Ittihad in Saudi Arabia are the club that are most interested right now in Saudi Arabia in bringing Ederson in. So very much an ever-developing situation. Any updates on that, I will of course keep you up to date, but this is something that I'm expecting to go much deeper into the summer transfer window. Now finally, got a quick update on Tino Livramento. I know a few of you guys have been asking about an update on Livramento. So the Daily Mail have been reporting today that Eddie Howe, the Newcastle United manager, absolutely wants to keep Livramento at Newcastle this summer. They say that Livramento has shown no desire whatsoever to leave Newcastle, and Manchester City are not keen on getting involved in a long, drawn-out saga this summer. So for me, this is pretty much ruling out a Man City move for Tino Livramento. He's homegrown. It'd be a pretty easy transfer for City to get sorted if Livramento was keen on the transfer and they could agree a fee with Newcastle, but it doesn't seem that straightforward, and with Newcastle now playing in the Champions League, it makes it a deal very difficult when it comes to Tino Livramento. And the same can be said for Spence over at Spurs as well. Again, another homegrown fullback who Manchester City could choose to bring in. It'd be a pretty straightforward transfer if Spence was keen on the transfer and Spurs were willing to negotiate. They're not that keen on negotiating, and it's further complicated by the fact that Spurs are also in the Champions League, and when teams qualify for the Champions League, they've worked hard all season to get there. They're not so keen on leaving the clubs, so it becomes very difficult. And in particular with Newcastle, obviously they're not like where Manchester City, Arsenal and Liverpool are at when it comes to they're playing in the Champions League season upon season, every single season. So it's nothing new to be transferring from one Champions League team to another when you're relatively new like Newcastle are. It's only their second season in the Champions League inside the last three seasons or so. It's very much a novelty. It's something that they're honoured to be in, and they've worked really hard to get into the Champions League, so they'll want to see the story out. And if Newcastle hadn't finished in the Champions League spot, I'd say Livramento would be pretty easy for City to get sorted, but it's very complicated now, and I think the same situation with Spence as well. So I can't see a Livramento move, I can't see a Spence move either. The other right back we're being linked with is Wesley, but we will face a big non-homegrown problem when it comes to Wesley, because yes, he's under the age of 21, he doesn't have to be registered in the Premier League and he can play in the Premier League, but Wesley, it'd be a big transfer. They're talking 30 to 40 million pounds if he signs for City. He'd want to be playing in the Champions League, and City right now, unless they start letting 2 or 3 players leave who are non-homegrown, which I just can't see happening, then Wesley wouldn't be able to play in the Champions League unless somebody else is going to miss out. And I just complicated. So we just everywhere we seem to be moving for a right back, we just seem to be ended up being stuck really. So Ola Reina, the other option, if City wanted to go for a more temporary option, of course, a homegrown player, so it becomes quite simple. Also out of contract with Nottingham Forest, I believe, as well. So that'd be an easier transfer, but City tend to think long term rather than short term. It's not really Manchester City to go out and bring a player in for the short term rather than thinking about the long term here. And I think Man City, when push comes to shove, I'm not saying I agree, but this is what I think City are going to do. I think they're just going to stick with the obviously homegrown player in Rico Lewis on that right hand side, and they'll go with Matheus Nunes once more, unless Matheus Nunes does decide to leave, which he has been linked with the exit door at Manchester City this summer. Then we would definitely need a right back, because right now City finding it very difficult, and their interest might be there in Livramento, and they may just keep an eye on what happens over the coming 12 months. And if Manchester City end up being in a really strong position to bring Livramento in, so City in the Champions League and Newcastle not in the Champions League, and Livramento's keen on a move away from Newcastle, then a transfer becomes much easier. Transfers are always much easier when players are keen on the move. When the players aren't so keen on forcing the issue, it becomes very complicated, very expensive, and very difficult. That's the problem we faced with Bruno Guimaraes last summer. We're facing the same problems with Tino Livramento, and it'd be well within City's interest that if the Livramento deal cannot happen, then really early in the transfer window we just distance ourselves away from that, and we focus on either bringing somebody else in at right back, or we start looking towards other positions and other priorities in this window, including player sales and new contracts. And that's where we're at right now in the transfer window. So that's been today's update. If you did enjoy this update, then please do leave it a thumbs up. We're aiming for 400 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. We're now less than 400 subs away from my goal of 45,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Honeywell Smart Lighting. Have you ever wanted to be a content creator and you're looking to take your setup to the next level? Well, one of the most important things that you need to think about is lighting. This is where Honeywell Smart Lighting have you covered. The Honeywell F01 floor lamp is designed to give you smart, convenient and efficient lighting for your videos as well as everyday life. The lamp features certified eye protection performance with the colour rendering index and no visible light flicker to make filming both comfortable, and it will also give you that professional look that you want in your videos. It can be used for everyday life, whether that be in your living room, a work from home space or a studio. The light is easy to set up, easy to use, and comes with a remote control too, so you can toggle with the settings and set the light up to however you please for that day. You want to focus? The light has you covered. You want to chill? The light has you covered. You want to create videos with high quality lighting? The lamp has you covered. So go and check out Honeywell Smart Lighting and their F01 floor lamp. The link is in the description of this video, and anyone that checks out the lamp using my link in the description does help to support the future content created here on my channel. And a big thank you to Honeywell Smart Lighting for sponsoring this video. Do go and check out the floor lamp F01 link and details, they are in the description. And I'll see you all again religiously tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.